Greetings, it's Thursday, January 7th. There's two new subscribers, Devour My Soul and AnonKat. Welcome. Okay, just before I started shooting this, I got a breaking news in the email. A story about 5 people in a special needs bus that were killed in a collision with a truck in Ohio. And I'm bringing this up because if you're a praying person, I'd like to suggest that you take a few minutes to pray for their families. I guarantee you they need it. I want to talk a little bit about something called fat acceptance, which, as I have come to understand it, is based on the idea that beauty should not be determined by your waist size, rather that overweight people can be healthy as well. Expert opinions are going to differ with that, of course, because they're going to tell you straight out that being overweight is bad for your health, cardiac risk, and so on. Of course, there's a lot of people that believe that the idea of fat acceptance will simply give overweight people an excuse to be complacent about doing something about their weight. Well, what I'll say about that is that I think that weight is important, but at the same time there are a lot of large, heavy people that are in fact quite fit. Look at any professional football team. Look at your linebackers. You've got guys there 250, 300, 350 pounds, and believe you me, those guys are fit. You see all the running these guys do, and all the activity they're into, and all the training they put in when they're not on the field. They're fit. They have to be, or they couldn't play the game. That said, that is not necessarily the rule for large weight people. I think that if somebody is fit, if they're in decent physical condition, they're able to be active, they're able to do stuff, then if they are comfortable with their weight, and they're comfortable with their level of activity, and their health is not at risk, then a certain amount of fat acceptance is probably all right. If, on the other hand, you're not fit, you don't have any energy, and you're not able to do stuff, then that's another matter. If your health is at risk, that's another matter. Like, for example, I can speak for myself and say that, in my case, fat acceptance, in the sense of it's okay to be this big, is not true. Because, for one thing, I don't feel good about myself at all. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like the fact that even 5 years ago, I could have walked for an hour, and in fact did used to on a treadmill. And today, if I go outside, walk down the driveway and across the street to the mailbox and back to the house, I'm ready for a half-an-hour nap. Completely worn out, out of breath, with no energy left at all. In my case, I'll say fat acceptance applies to me in that I have to accept the fact that, yes, I'm this big. I'm not going to condemn myself, and I'm not going to allow anybody else to condemn me or put me down for being this big. I simply recognize the fact, and I'm doing something about it. I think another aspect of fat acceptance is a very important thing. Condemning people or ridiculing people or in some way maltreating or putting people down for being fat, that's completely wrong. Instead of that, the better way to be is to be supportive. If a loved one or a family member or somebody you know is overweight and their health is a problem because of it, or it's contributing to health problems, then instead of, hey dude, you're fat, no. Trust me, they already know it. You're better off finding a way to tactfully express concern. And then here's the part that a lot of people don't do, is offer support. Offer to be the person they can call when they're having a problem and they're tempted to reach for that bag of Cheetos or that box of donuts when they know they don't need to. Offer to be the person that will work out with them, walk with them. Be there when they're going to be on a treadmill or something in case they're worried about balance issues and falling off. My wife had problems with that. So when she was on a treadmill, I made it a point to be right there. There's a lot of overweight people that have problems like that too. They know they're overweight. They need to do something about it. They know they need to do something about it. But sometimes they don't feel safe doing so. And with good reason. You know, if I fall, somebody's going to get hurt. And as far as fat acceptance in terms of it's okay to be fat, I kind of have to say I have a problem with that. But basically, if a person's not fit and they're not wanting to go on a diet or anything like that, basically what you can do is be supportive, encourage them to eat right, to get physically fit, to get physically active, and by combining those two things, a lot of weight will come right off all by itself. And when you notice somebody losing weight and looking better, be sure to tell them that you noticed their progress and that you are proud of them for it and you feel good about them having some success, because that kind of positive feedback will work wonders, I guarantee you. Yesterday's comment question of the day was, what motivates you to be a better person? Today's comment question of the day: if you had to perform in the circus, what act would you perform? Speaking of performing, here's a few seconds of SXE Phil.
Today is the 32nd anniversary of the smallpox vaccine. The day a scientist screamed, "Molly, stop making that sandwich! I've discovered the cure!" And Molly makes good sandwiches, so you knew it was a big deal. And those scientists saved the world, for the time being, until smallpox comes back, or spider flu monkey aid.
And by the way, just as a brief note, I don't do stunts like that to people I don't think can take a joke, so just a little FYI there. As always, I'm the tinfoilchef.com. Thanks for watching this episode of Equals Pie. The dirty word of the day: gelatinous.